that is the top headline this morning. That is TikTok may have dialed Reliance Industries. Moving on, then the next headline that's there in the Economic Times for you is plan to revise definition of Indian app firms. United States have relaxed some norms for the H-1B visas. Blackstone is big on India, that's the Apac head saying. States asked not to buy vaccine on their own. Government may cap prices of some cancer drugs. E-passports for all Indian citizens from next year onwards. You have online video calls may attract ISD rates. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to launch tax portal today. And lastly, ESIC jobless SOPs criteria may be eased. All right, let's move on to the market headlines then. Guarantee scheme eases NBFC loan woes. Bernstein sees less room for multi-year bull run. Indiabulls Housing Finance Chairman Gehlaut stepped down. Health cover boost for general insurers. And lenders as bad loan recovery wilts in Q1. And right from market headlines now, let's move on to the corporate headlines. We have private train operators can buy or lease rakes and set fares. Tata Motors dealers dial top brass for support. Ashok Leyland posts 389 crore loss in Q1. JSW Steel scales down planned US investment. And lastly, co-living companies add capacity and new products. Are the top headlines is there in the Economic Times for you. But let's get going with the top story. Apart from TikTok, you have another story that's there in the Economic Times, and this is the story that I'm going to talk about. That is plan to revise definition of Indian app companies. The new terms may actually include companies with local IP rights, most of the staff in India, and industry wants a foreign funding criteria out. So let me read this story directly off the paper. The government is looking to revise the definition of an Indian software product or application maker to one that uses locally developed intellectual property, as well as having most of its employees and paying taxes in the country. That's as per sources to Economic Times. It should also is saying that it should disregard the quantum of overseas funding, according to the view that's emerging among policy makers. They're also saying that during the recent Atmanirbhar App Innovation Challenge, many applications, including Twitter-backed shared chat and office automation app Credily, were disqualified because more than 50% of their equity is with foreign investors. So that is what the story is all about, that there is a plan to revise the definition of Indian app company. Let's move on now to another story, and that is that US has actually relaxed some rules for H-1B visas. But should we all be cheering about this? My colleague Chandra is here with all the details. Chandra, some more changes coming in for the H-1B visa rules, but this time around, is it good news for us?
Yeah, this seems like good news on the face of it, because the Trump administration has relaxed some rules for H-1B visas, allowing visa holders to enter the United States if they are returning to the same jobs they had prior to the proclamation of the visa ban. Now, the visa proclamation happened in June, where 4 or 5 categories of work visas were suspended till the end of the year, but they have now released a list of exemptions where some of these visa holders can travel back. For example, if they are in the same position with the same employer and visa classification. They've also allowed travel by technical specialists, senior level managers, and other workers whose travel is necessary to facilitate the immediate and continued economic recovery of the United States. So that's the stance we've taken. We have to wait and see if this is a huge success, or if this is something that was broadly expected, because people were expecting some exemptions to be allowed, because a lot of critical functions were being carried out by people who hold these H-1B visas. But this travel has to be supported by a request from a U.S. government agency or entity to meet U.S. foreign policy objectives. So they've released a list of conditions. Companies will have to see this, and then these employees will probably be allowed to travel again in the U.S. But this is a list of exemptions coming in, some relaxation compared to the norms imposed in June.
All right, thank you, Chandra, for taking us through that particular story. Looks like this time around there's some good news coming in for Indians when it comes to the rules changes in the US H-1B visa. Let me now shift focus to the top story that's there in the Economic Times, and this is the story that I'm going to talk about. And the headline reads that TikTok may have dialed Reliance Industries asking if it wants to tango. Let me move on and let me get you the story directly off the paper. It's saying that Reliance is engaged in an early stage exercise to evaluate the possibility of investing in TikTok's India operations, according to at least 6 people aware of the matter. That is, at least 6 people have told this to Economic Times. Also, the development comes even as a clock is ticking on Microsoft's fast-tracked negotiations to buy large swathes of Chinese short video platforms, global operations ahead of a September 15th deadline. So that's the big headline coming in Economic Times this morning, and that is TikTok may have actually dialed Reliance Industries, and India operations of short video app is set to be valued at $2.5 to $5 billion. Reliance terms the report has speculation, but if you see, the Reliance is engaged in an early stage exercise to evaluate the possibility of investing in TikTok's India operations, and this is what the sources have told Economic Times. So let's wait and watch on development on that particular front. Let's shift focus now on to another story that may have an impact to most of us who actually use video calls, and let's see what the details of the story is. And this is there on the page 7 of Economic Times. Give me a moment while I flip the pages for you. The story says that the online video calls may actually attract ISD rates. Let me take the story forward and let me talk about it. Telecom companies have warned subscribers that the dial-in numbers for online video calling or meeting applications like Zoom and Microsoft Teams may attract international calling rates if toll-free numbers are not used. Alerts were sent via SMS to customers after the TRAI ordered that operators warn their subscribers that the ISD rates will be charged for the international numbers in the dial-in features of these applications. Both TRAI and telecom companies have received complaints of bill shock during the last few months as India moved to the work from home mode amid the pandemic. So this is a story that's coming in from Economic Times. And also to tap into the opportunity, Bharti Airtel along with the US-based telecom operator Verizon recently launched video conferencing services that's known as Blue Jeans. Just before that, even rival Reliance Jio launched a video conference application known as Jio Meet, taking on popular competitors like Zoom as well as Microsoft Teams. So that is another story to watch out for when it comes to online video calls that may attract ISD rate. That's the warning coming in from telecom companies, but this is if the toll-free numbers are not used. Let's shift focus now onto another story that's there on the page 7 of Economic Times, and this is what the story is about, and that is that the private train operators can buy or lease rakes and set fares. To talk more on this story and what this is all about and who are the companies that have actually shown interest in operating railway trains, my colleague Ruchi is here with all the details. Good morning, Ruchi. Take it away.
Big global players are making a beeline for the privatization process for Indian Railways. We're given to understand that 23 players have attended the pre-application meeting for running private trains into the country. Big names include the likes of Bombardier, Alstom, Siemens, Bharat Forge, GMR Infra, BEML, L&T Infra and Titagar Wagons. We're given to understand that top officials from Niti Aayog and Ministry of Railways were present in this meeting. Interested bidders have raised queries on issues such as flexibility in clusters, eligibility criteria, the bidding process, and the procurement of trains as well. We're given to understand that Ministry of Railways has given the option to the players to either purchase the trains from them or take it on a lease basis. Private players will be given the freedom to decide the fare to be charged as well. Important to note that the due date for opening of the request for qualification is 8th of September 2020. Looks like the ball has already started rolling on getting private players to run trains in India.
All right, thank you, Ruchi, for taking us through the details of that story. My colleague now, Soumya, is here to take us through a story that's there on the page 5 of Economic Times. And this is all about Indiabulls Housing Finance that is set for an overhaul with Sameer Gehlaut who stepped down as from the post of the executive chairman. But looks like it is an internal company group reject rather. But Soumya is here with all the details. Soumya, take it away.
Well, Indiabulls Housing Finance is in focus. Well, this is after there has been some amount of top management reject at the company. Sameer Gehlaut, who's the founder of the company, has relinquished the office of executive chairman with immediate effect. In fact, ET Now was the first to bring you about the kind of expected management reject that was supposed to happen in the company. In fact, we officially have the announcement now, and the board has appointed Mr. S.S. Mundra as the non-executive chairman with immediate effect. Now, Sameer Gehlaut will also be redesignated as a non-executive, non-independent director of the company. In fact, as per the press release, he has steered the company for over 20 years since its inception in January 2000, and the company has delivered close to about 23% CAGR returns to its shareholders, including the dividend pays. Now, talking about this new appointee, Mr. S.S. Mundra, well, definitely he's not really new to the entire Indiabulls Housing Board, given he was already an independent director with the company. But having said that, he brings across with him vast experience of the banking and financial sector. Well, prior to joining Indiabulls Housing Board, he was in fact the deputy governor of the RBI, and in fact he has a career and as expansive as 40 years within the banking space. So definitely this may act as a positive sentiment for the shareholders and for the entire stakeholders as far as Indiabulls Housing Finance is concerned. Well, in fact, in the press release, the board also said that the noted appointment of Mr. Mundra as non-executive chairman will ensure high standards of professionalism and governance of the company. So definitely we may see some amount of re-rating as far as Indiabulls Housing Finance is concerned. Let's see how the stock reacts to this particular news flow tomorrow in trade.
Thank you, Soumya, for taking us through the details. But let's see how the stocks react today in trade. It was mostly known that Sameer Gehlaut will be stepping down from Indiabulls Housing Finance, and this was the story that ET Now broke for you. Let's shift focus now onto another story that's there in the Economic Times, and this is about Acme Solar, that they are planning to sell 1,200 megawatts of PPAs. So what does this exactly mean, and who all will be actually interested in this? We're joined by my colleague Vivek, who tracks the sector very closely. Good morning, Vivek. Vivek, take us through the story that's there in the Economic Times that's talking about Acme Solar Holdings, which is planning to sell 1,200 megawatts of PPAs.
Well, good morning. So you're talking about Acme Solar, which is one of the largest solar power developers as far as India is concerned. And, you're also talking about companies, especially in the renewable power space, that in the last couple of years have actually faced a significant amount of disruption in terms of extremely low tariff rates. You're also talking about companies not having sufficient PPAs. So Acme Solar, again, what they're looking at doing is that they have a significant solar power portfolio. Almost 1,200 megawatts is the kind of portfolio that they have. So now we understand, from the newspaper report today morning, is that they're scouting for buyers to sell close to 1,200 megawatt of power purchase agreements. Now, this is a significant amount, and this will have an impact as far as the entire renewable power space is concerned. So overall, watch out for renewable power players. Acme Solar, of course, isn't a listed company, but this could have a rub-off effect on companies, especially both having PPAs as far as the solar power market is concerned, and also companies that do make equipment as far as renewable power energy is concerned.
Thank you, Vivek, for taking us through that story. Now let's look at a story that's there on the page 9 of Economic Times, and the Labour Ministry has actually will be moving on a proposal to significantly relax the eligibility criteria for availing unemployment benefits under the Employees State Insurance Corporation scheme, besides enhancing the quantum of benefits to 50% of the last drawn wages and double the support period to 6 months. It will also propose to do away with the condition that the benefit can be availed only once in a lifetime and enhance the tenure of the benefit. The proposal, which will be actually presented before the corporation meeting on August 20th, can benefit over 32 million ESIC subscribers should they become unemployed. So this is a big headline that is coming in. Also, the sources have told Economic Times that the idea has the backing of the PMOs, which has been insisting on some tweaking in the existing provisions to benefit a large number of people in the event of job losses, much on the lines of unemployment allowance in the other countries. So this is a big story coming in that the Labour Ministry will move in a proposal to change some the eligibility criteria of availing unemployment benefits. So this will benefit about 32 million of ESIC subscribers. Now let's shift focus to a story that's there on the page 8 of Economic Times. And in an exclusive interview to Economic Times, Paytm's newly appointed CEO Varun Sridhar said that the Paytm Money is planning a full-scale launch of its retail stock broking services in 6 to 8 weeks. So this is a big headline that is coming in, and I have my colleague who is Varun standing by to take us through what is the new CEO of Paytm Money saying. Varun?
Right, Cheryl. Good morning. So, like you rightly pointed out, they want to open a retail broking platform. They currently are already running a test of this platform. It's in beta version with 80,000 users on an Android platform are currently testing this. So it seems that it's right around the corner, should be out any day now. So typically, if you look at the Paytm Money platform before, I don't know if you've used it, but it allows you to invest in mutual funds, right? But there's no daily trading element. Now, based on the data that they've dug up, what they found is that they can actually hit daily volumes of 600,000 trades per day based on the kind of traction they are seeing on Paytm Money. So, given that the whole aim, supposedly, of Paytm is about democratization of wealth and democratization of data as well, this is a great opportunity to capture value from 300 million Indians who are apparently on that platform. So it will involve a mix of commissions on intraday trades, interest income on loan against shares, and there'll be various products which you can also subscribe to. In terms of what Paytm will charge you, they'll keep broking fees zero, so they're trying to compete with Zero Dhar and 5 Paisa, but your intraday trades would command a flat fee of around 10 rupees per trade. So according to Varun Sridhar, that's also the lowest in the industry. So it looks like they're going to cut the costs, offer you some savings on your brokerage, and you'll be able to buy and sell shares on Paytm soon.
All right. Thank you, Varun, for taking us through that story. Now let's shift focus to D-Mart. The D-Mart owners shelf plan to venture into wholesale. They've cited COVID disruptions as a reason, and they're saying they will focus on brick and mortar retailing for now. But what are the exact details, and why are they actually stepping back from their plan? My colleague Vinny is here with all the details. Good morning, Vinny. Vinny, D-Mart owners have shelved their plan to venture into the wholesale. What reason are they citing, and why is such a move coming in right now?
So, Cheryl, absolutely, they are moving out and they will be focusing more on brick-mortar models right now because they feel there is a disruption due to COVID-19, and people have shifted their focus more to brick and mortar retailing for now. Now, normally we have seen that the FMCG sector has declined by around 17% during the quarter. This was mainly with the impact of the lockdown. So what is happening is there's reduced staff strength in dealership, which has affected the movement of products to Kirana stores, which in turn led to mostly empty shelves in the neighborhood stores as well. So what is the company saying is that the company distributors are far more aligned and, they can reach small stores far more better. While in cash and carry, what's the format that the shopkeepers have to come to the store and buy? So that is what they think is not going to be there right now. And, obviously brick mortar will be doing much more better than the current cash and carry format. So with D-Mart has around 220 stores right now, and it's one of the largest listed players in the retail space. So that is some benefit for them. In the offline, in the cash and carry store method, they also have competition from 4 other players like Walmart, Metro, Booker and Reliance. So that is also something they will have to watch out for. And as of now, that plan of cash and carry to expand more in that format is a bit on hold. While brick and mortar is what they will be focusing on, the wholesale side is what they'll be focusing on of the business.
Thank you, Vinny, for taking us through that story in a detailed manner. Let's shift focus now to the top 5 headlines as there in the Times of India. And first up, India number 4 in COVID fatalities overtakes UK. Next up, it is Nagpur, Kolhapur and Bid new COVID hotspots. Panel suggests digital infra for vaccine management. Oil PSUs to stop using tankers with China links. Lastly, moderate to heavy rain could lash Mumbai today. All right, and those are the top headlines that's there in the Times of India for you. But with that, we're out of time on this edition of the newspaper show. Thank you for watching.